The core flaw is that he cannot let go. He is incapable of accepting that some cases don't get solved, that some people don't get justice, that the institution he works for has limits he has to respect. But that flaw is also the reason he's the best homicide detective in the city. You can't separate the dysfunction from the competence. They are the same thing. The obsession that wrecks his personal life is the obsession that helps solve the case. Harry Bosch is not a good person. He's not a good cop. Not by the department's definition, anyway. He burns relationships. He crosses lines. He's been suspended, disciplined, and forced out more than any other detective. And yet, he's one of the most compelling protagonists in the history of crime fiction. Maybe the most compelling. That's not a contradiction. That's the whole point. Welcome to Fireside Writer. I'm TJ Stecker, crime fiction author. And today I want to talk about what makes Harry Bosch work as a character. Because I think understanding that will make you a better writer. If this is your kind of content, hit subscribe. Now let's get into it. Most writers understand that protagonists need flaws. That part's not hard. The hard part is making the flaw do actual work in the story, and not just exist as a character detail, but function as the engine driving every major character decision and conflict. Connolly gets this exactly right with Bosch. The core flaw isn't alcoholism, or anger, or bad judgment, though Bosch has all of those. The core flaw is that he cannot let go. He is incapable of accepting that some cases don't get solved, that some people don't get justice, that the institution he works for has limits he has to respect. But that flaw is also the reason he's the best homicide detective in the city. You can't separate the dysfunction from the competence. They are the same thing. The obsession that wrecks his personal life is the obsession that helps solve the case. That's what writers mean when they talk about a flaw that's load-bearing. It's not decoration. Pull it out and the character collapses. Bosch has a line he lives by. Everybody counts or nobody counts. It sounds simple, but it isn't. What it means is in practice, he will work the murder of a Jane Doe with the same ferocity he would for a senator. No hierarchy of victims. Every case gets everything he has. That code is the other half of the character equation. But here's what Connolly understands that a lot of writers miss. A flawed protagonist still needs a moral center, not a perfect moral compass, just a fixed point. Something they will not compromise on, no matter what they compromise everywhere else. Bosch will lie to a suspect. He'll manipulate a witness. He'll go around a chain of command without blinking. But he will not let a victim be forgotten. That line doesn't move. And that's why we root for him. Not because he's good, because he's consistent in the one way that matters. You know as a reader exactly what Harry Bosch will sacrifice everything for. And when he does, and the case costs him his badge, his marriage, or his relationship with his daughter, it doesn't feel arbitrary. It feels inevitable. Every great series protagonist has a wound. Not a quirk, a wound. Something that happened before the story starts, that never fully closes and keeps getting reopened by the cases they work. For Bosch, it's his mother. She was a prostitute, murdered when Harry was 11. The case was never solved. He spent his childhood in the system, bounced between foster homes, eventually ended up in Vietnam, came back and became a cop. And if you follow the thread, if you've read enough of the series, you start to realize that every single murder he refuses to let go of, every unsolved murder, he is just resolving, or trying to solve, his mother's. He's been solving the same case for his entire career. Connolly doesn't beat you over the head with this. He lets it accumulate, book by book. The wound deepens and clarifies. By the time you're 10 novels in, you don't just know Harry Bosch. You understand him, and that's a completely different thing. That's the blueprint, the flaw, the code, the wound. Those three elements, properly braided, give you a protagonist your readers will follow for more than 20 books. So what can you actually take from this? First, your protagonist's flaw should be inseparable from their strength. If you can remove the flaw without affecting their ability to do what they do, it's not the right flaw. Find the thing that makes them dangerous and necessary at the same time. Second, give them a line they won't cross. Not many lines, one line. It doesn't have to be a noble line. It just has to be set in stone. Readers need to know what your protagonist will burn everything down for. That's the emotional contract. Third, the wound should be old. It should predate the story. And it should rhyme with every case they work, even if it's not obvious. The past isn't backstory, it's fuel. I think about this constantly with Jeff Coburn in Redacted. His flaw is the same thing that makes him effective. He inherited his father's stubbornness and his father's instinct that power lies when it has to. That's what gets him into trouble. But that's also what gets him to the truth. And the wound, his complicated relationship with his father, with his family name, with the idea of loyalty to something that may not deserve it, that's underneath every scene in the book, even the ones that look like straight procedural. Bosch works because Connolly never let him off the hook. The flaws don't get resolved. The wound doesn't fully heal. The code gets tested every single book, and the cost keeps going up. That's what a perfectly flawed protagonist looks like. Not a character with problems. A character whose problems and purpose are the same thing. Drop a comment. Who's your favorite flawed protagonist in a crime book? And what makes them work? I read every single comment. So until next time, I'm TJ Stecker, and I'll see you by the fire.